So today I'm going to talk about not one but two knives that share the same name, and they are both the Turbid. The Turbid is designed by Saury, like the fish, Saury, and it is manufactured by LDY. The titanium Chanwich Turbid is 3.81 ounces, and the aluminum channel one is 3.7. So it's a pretty close, albeit a significant difference of zero point 0.1 ounces. Also, in good news, I finally tested negative for COVID. But enough about that. We can talk about that in a future video. All right, let's first talk about the titanium Chanwich turbid. Actually, I'll show you both. The thing is that you can notice a difference just by the blade. The trainer blades for the aluminum one also curve up like this, and this is a little bit more straight. It's very like, I don't know, Japanese tanto style, almost like a dagger. And it's got some cool milling up here. It's very minimal, but it's a nice little touch. These blades are not interchangeable. I was told they were. They're not. Despite this also being Chanwich, there's no weight system, which is a shame because I find that the titanium one is just a bit too handle biased for me. There's not enough tip weight that I find that the fans wobble. And the wobbling is enough that I actually don't want to keep this, despite that I was hunting this for quite a while. And now that I have one, I've been trying to get rid of it because I don't know. I had one and I got a second one, and this is the second one, and I'm just like, eh. So we'll see. I have a trade offer that I just got today, and theoretically possibly someone who would be willing to buy it. Anyways. Ah! Fuck. Anyways, so the thing about this Balisong is that it is Chanwich, but it doesn't really feel that different. Oh, also another big difference is speed channels on the titanium one. And there's like just like little dots here on the aluminum one on both parts. Chanwich one is a lot more like glassy sounding. It's a bit quieter too. And I guess unsurprisingly, the aluminum one is much clackier. So, that said, the biggest difference between the two is, you can say the aluminum one, ouch. You can say the aluminum one is maybe a little slipperier, like a little, especially because this has big speed channels. But even with the big speed channels, I just still find that this is too imbalanced for my taste, which is a shame because I really like the design. It's got like these face cutouts that are very comfortable. They feel good. They feel unique. There's a little bit of grip here, but not like so painful like how the She was. And it's got two tolerances, but with no weight system. Ow! I bit myself with that knife. I find that this is just sitting a little too heavy, and because it's Chanwich, I can't just take these screws out. Otherwise, they're gonna have shit tolerances. And so, alas, despite this, I think this is a powder coated blade, and I think this is ano, but it might be a powder coat. It is not destined to stay in my collection, mostly just because these fucking fans, they just wobble in a way that I don't like. As for rollovers, it is nice and light, and it is very floaty, and it is easy to manipulate. It's got it's got decent momentum. It's just that unfortunately a lot of what I do is fans. I will say actually, there's no jimping, and even with this big speed channel, it still slips, and that's a shame. I should not do that from the bite side. But yeah. Another trick that I do often is ladders, and because of its lightweight, it does sorry, not ladders, torals. I'm literally, ow! I'm literally doing ladders, and you can see it flying out of my hand. So alas, if there's a little bit of jimping, that would help too. Just a little bit of groove. I don't know. A lot of jimping I find is pretty unhelpful, and a lot of knives just don't have jimping at all. This has no jimping except for like up here in the middle. I don't really know why it has it there. Now, while I don't love the titanium one, I actually adore the aluminum one. Because I am not an aluminum hater. I actually am pretty unbiased when it comes to aluminum. I find that this balance is dead neutral. I actually have two other knives here that are also aluminum, and they're also dead neutral. And it's the aluminum the aluminum GN by Log Designs. Super neutral. Has a little bit of ring to it too. And speed channels. I have the Frankenforge amp with a Japanese Tanto, also super neutral, very clacky, like incredibly clacky. This one's got jimping too, and some interesting face texture, albeit it can be a little rough, but honestly, I'm into it. And so back to the aluminum one. They all like feel a little different in the hand. Like this one, the Turbid, sorry, I'm like saying so many different names. The Turbid has like these very thin, long handles. These handles are thinner than the GNs. Let me compare to like, here's the Volt Pro. The handles are thinner than the Volt Pro. So these handles are very long and thin. And it's a pretty decent length, at least it feels like that. So also comparing to the Volt Pro, you can see that it's longer. Sorry, I should not cover. So yeah, it's a bit longer. Let me compare it to the Cygnus. So yeah, you can see that it's got a decent length to it. And to compare back to the titanium one, I think that they feel very similar. They're similar, like, I think the aluminum one's maybe just a hair longer, albeit. Also, I love this dual tone blade. Like, check this out. This is just gorgeous. Anyways, the aluminum one, while it is very neutral, I still find hasn't given me any issues with rollovers, albeit less momentum, unsurprisingly. Still no jimping here, so I'm a little spooked. Ouch. That didn't actually hurt. I just said ouch in instinct. So, like, if you are someone that does a lot of rollovers and you like lightweight knives, the titanium one actually performs really well. It just doesn't fan. It doesn't fan good, at least. I find that the fans are very unsatisfying. I've become a lot more intolerant of wobbly fans, and yeah, these fans just wobble. I don't know if it's obvious. You can definitely feel it, but if it's not obvious on video, yeah, it just doesn't feel satisfying. It doesn't have that like snap because it just doesn't carry. But rollovers feel good. I'm like doing them like shit right now. I've mostly been in bed all week, just lying in bed and recovering. Ooh, fuck. Yeah. So yeah, the aluminum one doesn't have as much of like that momentum on the end. It doesn't roll over quite as like with momentum, but I prefer neutral Balisongs in that I feel like, ouch. It was sharper than I remember it being. I prefer neutral Balisongs in that I feel like it's easier to do rollovers on a neutral Balisong, and it's just a matter of like skill, than it is to fan on a handle bias Balisong, and like you can't really do much. Like with a handle bias Balisong, it's just like, well, it's wobbling, and there's nothing I can really do to compensate for it. So I ended up getting both, just kind of like, oh, I really wanted to tie one, and then I learned that there was an aluminum one too, and then I'm like, oh, well, why not? And then I sprung just a little bit extra for that one. Thanks for Hugo to give me that sweet, like, discount in that I was buying multiple ones. Fuck, I can't really do this with a bloody finger, but I find that at least with my preferences, the aluminum one being like 3.7 ounces, it's really nice. It looks really good, and I honestly think it's worth it. There are trainers out there that are being sold for like pretty low. This is a definite collection keeper. This one I really wish I liked more, because I own almost every LDY product. I didn't keep the Vixen. I just found it was a little too hefty and didn't have enough like character to it as much as it being pretty. And I find that this one is just not within my preferences. I've had other handle biased Balisongs that I found were more fun, but I think partially because this is so light. In addition to being handle biased, it doesn't really feel like it's giving, like the IBAS was like 4.6 and was definitely very handle biased, but I got a lot of fun out of like doing rollovers, and it felt really different and unique. Whereas I have a lot of knives that sit under 4 ounces, and it being titanium, it's still slippery. Maybe if it was a Cerakote, but it's just light, and it doesn't have a lot of grip, despite it being this deep, like these long speed channels. I just it just lacks grip. It lacks the balance. And I don't know. This, like, rollovers are fun. They are really fun. I just can't do them lying down, and I'm oftentimes lying down in bed because I'm narcoleptic and I'm just sleepy all the fucking time. I still sound sick. Anyways, this is kind of the short and sweet of it. I've been meaning to cover this for a while because I've just been uh, trying to move this, but I've been in bed. All in all, though, it's still a really good knife. It has a good tolerance. It has like a very nice mild Zen nipple that doesn't get in the way. The horns are non-existent, and it just is like a sleek, elegant design. If only it was neutral. If only it had a weight system so that you could make it feel like this on choice, but no weight system. In fact, I have been trying to see if I could get a serve, a Notion Flip serve, which is a Polish titanium sandwich knife, and that's like $700. But it's got no weight system, and I'm very nervous to to buy one without trying. And so I'm like trying to see if I can tempt trade. However, no one outside of Poland has one. There's only like 11 of them in total, and everyone that has one is Polish. And so if I want to tempt trade, I have to worry about customs twice, and that's a little spooky. So we'll see. Anyways, if you're making a Chanwich Balisong, I honestly think that there should be some form of weight system. It doesn't have to be crazy. I think that I like this system for the Phobos. The Phobos has like little slots that there are up to like 3 pins that you can do, and with the Phobos Horizon, it's dead neutral, without any pins. I like the the Seraph is good, of course, where they have like little brass weights in the bottom, but that I feel like is maybe more demanding. Whereas the Phobos, the pins are the same material as the Zen pins, and they're hidden Zen pins, and so there are ways to do a good weight system in a Chanwich design that doesn't require more like material to be produced, because you're already going to have the hardware for the hidden Zen pins, which this has. And meanwhile, this has press fit Zen pins, unsurprisingly. And so if you have a Chanwich design, personally, I think you're best off with giving a, a a weight system, because the more variable weights you have, the more your product is going to be able to be accessible and enjoyable by people of varying tastes. And the serve, I know he was very much like, oh, everyone that's flipped has said that it's really good and the weight feels really good, and I didn't want to do a weight system. And again, I haven't tried the serve yet, but someone did, I think, tell me that it was maybe a little blade bias, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Anyways, titanium Chanwich Turbid, it's pretty good. It's just not for me. So if you like rollovers, I'm selling this and possibly trading this. And if you like fans, this is really fun, lightweight, much more inexpensive than a Kraken. It is from China after all, and it is a channel. It's a channel aluminum. So whereas like the Orion is sandwich aluminum, this one's worth more money. But very thin, long handles, fans beautifully, super neutrally, very lightweight, and a very cool design. And if you want a trainer, obviously those are even cheaper. I think that the aluminum Turbid is fucking great. It's great. A little slippery, but it's great. I don't fucking hate on aluminum. And I get it. I totally get it if you do. If you don't like aluminum, that's your prerogative. But for me, that's what I gotta say. Anyways, thanks for checking out these videos. There's an unboxing video where I have both of these and the Turbid and a Oreo Cerakote Orion. That was before I started to do videos for individual knives instead of one knife at a time. Albeit this one is 2 knives at a time, but I think it's at least appropriate. Thick. Anyways, check out that unboxing video if you wanted to learn more about my first impressions, and subscribe. Like this video if you think that it is good, and check out the coffee in the description because a little bit goes a long way. And I am doing this on my own. I don't have, I don't have a sponsor, and I don't have a Patreon because I should honestly just say donate to my Patreon. There's nothing on it. Anyways, have a great one, everyone, and happy flipping.